So let me start this video by saying I'm nowhere near a Manchester City fan, but for the content, I will be keeping my personal thoughts on the club personal, and I'll be keeping this video as professional minded as I can. A lot has changed in the Premiership this season, and it hasn't even started yet. With 8 managers departing their team, this already means nearly half the Premiership will have new managers and new ideas before the season starts. This year we have seen some very big names take charge, including Mourinho, who has come back to the Premiership to Manchester United. Conte has taken over Chelsea, and obviously a past rival of Jose Mourinho's, especially with his Spanish past, Pep has joined Manchester City. He has got an absolutely fantastic record in football, and for City, maybe their biggest signing this season is the manager himself. He has won trophies in both clubs he's managed, and some will argue that he's only won with big clubs, being Barcelona and Munich, but honestly, he's a fantastic manager. He has a 72% win ratio, which is amazing. On facts, he's one of the top managers still in the game, and he will definitely improve Manchester City. Will the Premiership be a challenge to him? Yes. Yes, it will. In Germany and Spain, you only really have 2 or 3 big teams. In the Premiership, you're looking at nearly 6 to 8 teams they're really close to winning the Premiership. Last season, it was really hard to see who was going to finish 4th, let alone who was going to win the Premiership between Tottenham, Leicester and possibly Arsenal. But the competition itself is a lot harder than Spain and in Germany. There's a lot more matches and there's no winter break. Pep will be looking at improving the current squad and making it his own team. The team itself, personally, I can see Pep improving this squad with a few transfers, being possibly a new centre-back, a new centre-mid and a winger. This is what I think he will sign in this transfer window. But I'll be talking about transfers a little bit later on in this video. I'm going to quickly go through the midfield, the team itself. I'm going to start with goalkeepers, go through to the strike force. Joe Hart had a terrible international tournament, and I'm sure that a lot of City fans will be hoping that he gets dropped, which I personally don't. I don't rate the guy myself, but if he gets dropped, his confidence will drop too. Your goalkeeper is only good as your defence, and honestly, the England defence wasn't that great. And we all have to remember, the cover keeper has the best name. So the cover they have for City, they have a good old Willie in goal. A player that's better than what he is. Like, he should not be a number 2. He should be playing as a number 1 somewhere, but not as a backup keeper. In the past seasons, we've seen him play more cup games, and honestly, I can't see him leaving. But if he wants more gameplay, he might. I can't see Pep signing any more goalkeepers due to these 2 really good players in their prime, and in their, when they're playing well, they are fantastic players. City defence is aging rapidly, especially their fullbacks. On the left, Kolarov, my first choice for City, and Klinchy, I don't rate him as much, honestly. Highly, he's alright. He was good at Arsenal, but I just think the age is against him. They're both 31 years old. I would personally sell Klinchy and bring in a youth academy player called Angelino, who went on loan to the MLS last season. He was absolutely amazing. I remember watching him 2 seasons back in the youth team playing, I think it was Chelsea in the cup final, and honestly, he was fantastic. I would like to see him play some cup games this year. And if you go to the right backs are even older. They're 32 in average. You've got Sagna, who, the runner-up in the Euros this year, being 32. I'm not going to say he's past it, but for a fullback in the Premiership, it's fairly old. And to prove that, being past it, he's not. Zabaleta, who's 33 years old. Age isn't really a major issue, but having 2 fullbacks over 30, or all 4 of your fullbacks being over 30 as well, that's a bit of a worry. Zabaleta has had a lot of paper talk, a lot of newspaper rumours suggesting that Zabaleta will be pushing a move closer to his home country, although I'm not too sure how true this is going to be, apart from, if it is true, then he might do the Tevez side of things, but why would you leave a club where you're playing regularly and you're in chance of winning trophies at a really high level? Centre backs, we've got really slim pickings. You've got injury prone captain Company, who I'd sell. Like Ledley King for Tottenham, but not as much. I don't show him as much as respect as I do for King. But yeah, I'd personally sell company. I would have kept King no matter what for Tottenham. Mangala, he hasn't really done too much this season. The promise that he showed when he joined City a couple of seasons back, it hasn't been shown. And Otamendi, I think I'm saying that name completely wrong. I think he's had an absolutely fantastic season for his first season in the Premiership. City have been looking at signing an English centre-back, John Stones, for an absolutely crazy amount of money for a centre-back. £50 million. That's more than what Rio Ferdinand cost Man United. Personally, I don't think Pep's going to do too much in the centre-backs, apart from maybe bringing Stones in. If one of the other centre-backs leaves, he might have to look into getting another centre-back. Full-backs, apart from youthening it up, I can't really see too much happening. I think midfielders, it's probably the weakest spot in the team, the midfield. It's a bit clustered, it's a little bit messy in my eyes. They've already signed a German midfielder, Gundogan. I've said his name so wrong and I apologise. Who he should really slip into this team really easily. Like, I've played FIFA with him in the team. I know it's not the same in reality, but he works really well with Aguero on the game. I think he's got that kind of brain that will work really well with De Bruyne on the wing with Aguero up front. I think both De Bruyne and Sterling will show a lot better potential this year than last season, with injuries past them, and hopefully the Euros are past Sterling at this point. They're going to be the main wingers for this season. Hopefully, or maybe, the three of the players might swap around in the midfield, them three midfielders that I've mentioned. Going on to a little bit more in midfield, I don't really rate Fernando or Fernandinho. A lot of people do. Some people say they're average players. I don't really rate them that much. And it's the same thing with Toure. Yaya Toure, not Kolo Toure. Yaya Toure. I think he's just past it. I think he's got so lazy. I think he's extra lazy last season. I think he's past it. So yeah, I think Man City should really go and look into getting one or two CDM centre mid players this season. Possibly selling Yaya if a good enough deal comes in, because he's not the same player as he was. Like, he was a threat years ago, and every so often you get that player come back. It's just not as often as you want it. Delph and Navas will be fighting to see some Premiership time this season, with them most likely going to be playing a little bit more cup games this year than anything else. Same thing with David Silva, to be honest. I can't really see him playing too much Premiership gameplay. I rate that guy so much. I think age is a little bit against him at this point now. He's still a solid player. I really do like him. Players like De Bruyne, who's like for like player in the same centre attacking midfield role, plays on the wing exactly the same as him. He joined last season, obviously. I think Silva would be benched a little bit more. He might come on in like the 60th minute. Pep will probably be looking into improving the midfield. Like the centre mids will probably be where he's improving it. He might bring in a spare left mid, or a spare winger, just to help with Sterling and De Bruyne a bit more, pushing towards not losing their spot. Up front, the ever improving strike force with Aguero, their new signing Nolito, and their youngster who came through their youth academy. Their strike force in general is one of the strongest in the Premiership. And after probably Boney will probably leave soon as well. I think he might be going probably to a Premiership team. But yeah, after Boney goes, they might sign another striker, but I can't really see it too much. They don't need any more strikers. The three that they've got are solid. A lot of teams have shown interest in Boney. Paper Talk mentioned that, but nothing official has come out of it yet. So I've just gone through a summary quickly of what the team is and what the main players are in the team. I'm now going to just quickly go through and say who I can see them signing. Again, as I said previously, City have been in the market for literally all season. They've been looking for a centre-back. John Stones seems to be their man. But what gameplay will he get? I mean, like, when Kompany's fit, he'll be in the team straight away. Otamendi, or whatever his name is, will be up there too, because he had absolutely fantastic season last year. I can't see where Stones is going to play apart from when Kompany's injured. But I haven't seen him in the squad yet. Things might change once Pep's there. And obviously I think Pep will seriously be looking into at least 1 or 2 CDM centre mids this season. Hopefully slimming down the players that they've currently got in centre midfield. City have shown a lot of interest in Leroy Sané, although the two clubs value this player so differently, with the rumours showing that City have offered 20 mil and the German team are wanting closer to 40 mil for this player. City have been linked with a lot of players, as they are always doing every transfer window by the newspapers. The gossip that goes through City with all of the money that they've owned, or all the money that they've got, seems to be, the team just seems to be linked with every single player every transfer window. The same thing with Tottenham the other season when they sold Bale. Same thing with Manchester United every time they get a new manager. Chelsea with a new manager. It's the same thing. But City, you know, this year especially, it looks like they're just linked with every single player. So who I can see leaving? Possibly Mangala might leave. My voice just goes really high pitched. I don't know. He might go. He might not go. I mean, like, if he's not happy, then he'll probably want to leave. He's a good player. Just he's not been that great for Man City. If Kompany isn't fit, then Pep might consider selling him, because he might want non-injured players in this team. Clichy and Sagna, due to age, might be on their way out, but you know, I mean, like the Munich team was getting quite old, and he didn't really do too much to that team. I don't personally think that the Fernandes, I'm going to call him a Fernandes, yeah, the Fernandes, you know, Fernando and Fernandinho. I don't personally think they're quality enough for the team. They might be like cover players, but depending on transfers, I'd consider selling them maybe. And Boney, who looks certain to be leaving at the moment. Where will they finish this season? If Pep doesn't do what Pep does best and win the title, then who knows? I mean, like, honestly, I think with Pep there and the signings that he's going to bring in, they should really be fighting for first. They really should. I mean, like, they should be fighting for first every year. Anything below third would be a serious letdown for City and their fans. A solid team with a few more signings would look incredibly strong, like to the level of fighting some of the top teams in Europe. And yeah, honestly, I can't see them going worse than second maybe. So fingers crossed that my personal opinions aren't too right, because I don't want to see Man City play well, but that's my personal opinions. On a professional view, they should really be first or second by the end of next season. So I'm going to end this video now with a few questions to you guys. I want you to answer what I basically just summed up in this video. Was Pep the right man for the team? Who do you think will leave, and who do you think will join City this transfer window? And where will they finish this season? Leave a comment below, hit that like button, and if you're new, why not sub to me?